You are live. Anthony Homsy, nice to meet you, my friend. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm great. How about you?
I'm very well too. Thank you. So, Anthony and I connected on LinkedIn the other day. We were talking about, what he could be doing in terms of his LinkedIn profile, how he can get clients for his business. So we decided that it's maybe probably useful for him to jump on the phone and see if I could help him with something. So, Anthony, would you like to give us a quick intro, what you do and who you help to do what?
All right. So, first of all, I'm a medical student. I've been studying medicine for 3 years now. When I first started, I was a mindset coach, then specialized into burnout coaching for executives and for solopreneurs. So, that went great actually, but I felt like my true calling was more in marketing and helping people achieve success in coaching. So what I did now is around April, I started just doing social media marketing and especially on Instagram to help health coaches, especially to stand out from the crowd of coaches that are on Instagram and build their own personal brand. And that will allow them to build good funnels and to start making consistent sales.
Okay.
That's my pitch, basically.
Okay, good. So help health coaches stand out and make more consistent sales.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you, and I'm going to be just very open and transparent with questions.
Sure.
Do you have a track record in this area yet? Have you helped
No.
somebody successfully to do that?
Oh, yeah, I did, but I don't have a lengthy record because I just started actually.
Okay.
So I help almost 10 people now to become coaches. So the stats basically are my most successful clients were able to, through organic marketing, reach almost 5 to 6 clients per month, which are high ticket sales. We're talking $100 to $200 per hour, or selling packages more than $5,000 for around 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I
So
think that's not bad
great. That's
for
great.
a beginner. Yeah.
Um, what is your methodology? How do you help them do that?
Okay. First of all, we're looking at their profile, seeing what we can optimize in it, seeing their content, if they have content pillars. Okay, so first we're focusing on their content and what they're putting out. And while doing that, we're studying their branding. We're seeing who their target audience is. What do they want to show to the world? What's their tone of voice? And all that branding stuff. Okay, once we figure that out and we figure the content part out, we start focusing on sales. We start focusing on making a good offer, which especially targets the pain points. And through organic marketing, all of it, we are working on getting clients through engagement with other niches, through collaborations, and through inbound marketing mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you don't like inbound marketing that much because LinkedIn coaches, but on Instagram, I think it's working really good.
Okay. So it's you basically you don't have your own sort of unique message methodology. You simply teach the basics, foundations of marketing, where you say, okay, positioning, make sure that we have the right messaging,
Yeah.
and that through by having content pillars, putting out the right content, you attract people for in an inbound way. Is that right? Did I summarize the methodology correctly?
That's one way to put it, but I would like to say more that I'm using content for reach, and then through our ways, we are doing turning this reach into followers and then turning it into clients.
Mm.
But yeah, that's basically it. We're focusing on content and then letting the algorithm do its work, basically through hashtags and through just visibility from the collaborations that they're doing with other people.
Okay. You've had success with this, but on Instagram, is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
And you follow your own recipe rulebook.
exactly. This is how
Okay.
I'm growing.
Okay. Cool. Got it. Okay. So what is your goal on LinkedIn then? What do you want to simply build up a presence to do the same thing?
Well, for right now, I'm just discovering LinkedIn. I'm seeing if the people that I want to target are on LinkedIn or not, and if it's better than Instagram or worse, or if I can use it for my clients in our strategy, or should we move on to something else? So
Okay.
I'm still figuring things out, really.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, what do you have a website?
No.
No. Okay. So far it's only effectively your Instagram profile.
Yeah, and Clubhouse sometimes.
Okay. Good. And you mentioned the clients. Can you share, were these paid clients?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So you got people paying you to help themselves to stand out and get clients.
Exactly.
Okay. Good. Excellent. Well, should we take a quick look at your LinkedIn profile? I give you like my overview of what I would recommend you do.
All right. So,
Sure. Okie doke. So let me just pick this view mode and then share screen. Cool. So can I ask, is this profile picture that you have here, have you used it on Instagram as well?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So it does not seem to be of detriment. It's just that it's just you have the skeptical look on your face, which I would be a little bit concerned about, because it does not seem friendly and approachable.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of that, honestly. I thought it was. All right, sure.
You didn't?
So a smile is better.
Yeah. So there's a website where you can, I mean, this is just my impression. I just feel when somebody, first of all, you're not really smiling and you have one eyebrow raised, which is like like a questioning mode. So I wonder, and there's a website that right now it eludes me. I don't remember what's it called, but there's a website where you can get people to, I think you pay like $20 and you can get people to vote on how they like a photo of yours. Right, and they're going to give you a really good idea. Fortunately, I cannot. It will maybe come to me, but there's a website where you can get that. Okay, so yeah, you need a background image, obviously. Banner. Social media marketing specialist is not you. You mentioned that you work with health coaches, right? So even if you wrote, "I help health coaches stand out," would already be better than that. It's more specific. Right, because this
about
headline...
that point, I was going to do it, but I was using LinkedIn to apply to jobs for marketing, especially social media marketing for brands and for companies. So I didn't think it would resonate well with them if they saw that I was doing only for health coaches.
Yeah.
But now I changed that, so I should probably change it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely useful to mention your target audience as well. Then I see you have creator mode turned on. Is that right?
That's right.
Right. So I don't have a strong opinion on this, but I've heard that people connect with you more if you do not have creator mode turned on. So I would recommend you maybe at this time where you only have 48 connections, 47 followers, that you actually turn it off. Because if I want to, I mean, we're connected now, but if I wanted to connect with you, it's like 5 clicks that I have to make. Whereas if you are in non-creator mode, in normal mode, then I would be just like 2 clicks or something like that. That's somebody told me this recently, and I tend to agree. It just, at this point, at this stage where you're really early stage of building your network, it makes more sense.
I was going to post like consistently on LinkedIn, but I didn't really find the time or really understand the platform that well to start posting. So that's why I turned it on.
Exactly. So I would do that. And then here, your about section is just very short. I mean, I think if you quickly take a look at my about section, let me just quickly pull this up. It's just, I'm gonna share what are like good components of an about section that I think will help draw people in, because this is really your opportunity to sell. Like, you shouldn't be selling in your content. You should only be selling in your in in your about section, and of course with your headline. So that's my headline. My about section is, I start with a story so that I draw people in. I start with a story about how I was fired in 2016. Oh, look at that, 19 September. It's almost 5 years that I was fired. And like, what's the story, and so on, and so on. Many, like, I regularly have people who mention the story to me, that they found it entertaining, and then I go straight into what I do, why it works, who I serve, I can help you with. Results is important. If you have those results that you mentioned, well, get people to give you testimonials. It's very powerful, right? And ideally, you would get the testimonials as a video. Look, this was a recent client of mine, Liz, and I just put this right into the featured section as a photo, which then if you click on it, you can click on it at the bit.ly link, then direct you to the YouTube video where you can watch it.
Okay.
And then some of these other videos, I just turned, Dana, I mentioned it here. These are not video testimonials, but I wanted to show the breadth. You know, this is a marketer who worked with me. This is a people analytics law firm. This is a lawyer. You know, so quite different, quite different people.
So you don't have a specific niche on LinkedIn that you're targeting?
Okay. Nope. Because look, this is my, oh, look at that, we're live here. This is my headline, right? I help B2B companies and solopreneurs develop client acquisition system by splitting their funnel into a high intent conversion machine and a nurturing content ecosystem. So, not many people are familiar with this, with the need to funnel split. And that's kind of the thing that I'm going for. This is relatively recent. I used to be more of I'm the LinkedIn coach, but I'm realizing that there's much more value to be gained if you can go a bit more high level and don't just pigeonhole yourself in that LinkedIn coach story. Right. Cool.
Okay, that's really interesting, because everyone is always saying that you should niche really down, but you're going in the complete opposite side. So yeah.
And I mean, my client base is as diverse. I recently got a new client, is an artist who's doing custom made paintings for companies and private individuals. And I have somebody who's like a digital transformation consultant. And I'm also talking to a company, they're not yet a client, but hopefully will be, who are doing very technical financial risk analysis software. Right. So it's super broad. That doesn't matter, because the system, the methodology that I have applies to everyone.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that's your unique selling point, that you have this funnel, and that's it.
Well, it's, as I said, this is relatively new. I posted a LinkedIn Live the other day about the funnel and the pot, where I speak about you have to separate your audience into those who are ready to act, who are actually interested in booking a call with you, and the other part, who are not yet ready to book a call with you, but who are, let me just quickly stop sharing, who are not yet ready to book a call with you, but they just want to be educated and maybe, informed, entertained. And to create that and to do that really well is tricky, because most people operate in this old world of, oh, I'm going to create a lead magnet, and then I'm going to do an email drip, and then I'm going to call them, and so on. This is downloading a lead magnet does not mean that you're interested, that you actually want to buy. It just means you wanted to read the lead magnet. And that's what most people get wrong. They are trying to squeeze somebody who belongs in the pot.
I'm not hearing you good. Hello.
Righty, we're back. Got a bit
All
of
right.
a technical glitch here. I don't know, I had a computer crash. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's pick up right where we stopped. The mistake that people make as far as the funnel and the pod is concerned is that they just try to squeeze people into a funnel where they don't belong. Vast majority of people simply want to be in your content ecosystem. If you earn their attention, you first have to get their attention in the first place. Then if they find you reasonably interesting, then you need to constantly nurture them with other interesting content. And only if they themselves give you signals that that indicate that they could be interested in what you have to do, in what you do, then you offer them a pathway for a call, right? But that's the number one mistake that most people make, that they try to squeeze people who don't belong into the funnel. They squeeze them in a funnel.
Okay, so which signals do you consider when you're looking for clients?
Which signals? Where it's varied, because
Okay.
I help people with like very different problems. Like some people come to me where they're not good in selling, for example, right? So they are pretty good at content. They know exactly that they know what to do. They are very competent at what they do, but they are not good at commercializing it. Then also what helps a lot, many people know, I'm working with one consultant right now, I just got off a call, and she is very competent, very experienced in all things HR, has been a recruiter for a long time, but wants to do something in retention in this space, but doesn't fully know how to formulate that yet. So creating a strategy like, okay, I help you solve this kind of problem, and coming up with something like a story that supports why you are the right person for this. That kind of positioning and messaging work, that is one of, I would say, one of my sweet spots. And then just
Okay.
generally, how to get a stranger. Most consultants, I would say 80-90% of consultants rely on referrals and repeat business. I try to get out of that, right? I help people get out of this and convert complete strangers. And there's a whole infrastructure that you need in order to do that well and at scale. But you've achieved it on Instagram already. Or were these strangers who you actually
Yeah,
got?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was, but my method was a little bit different. So my signals personally were someone who commented a lot, or who was messaging me first, or that just liked a bunch of posts, for example, and didn't follow. So I just follow up with him, like, thank you for interacting. And even sometimes they just tell me, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. When can you book a call directly?
Great. Excellent.
So, yeah,
That's good. So obviously you're
it
doing something right
varies.
on Instagram.
It
And I don't
varies.
think that things are very different on LinkedIn. If you've done this well on Instagram, you will also do well on LinkedIn. I would be interested in actually how you, after doing this for a while and after getting some clients on LinkedIn, how you would compare it. Like
Yeah,
what has worked for you on both platforms, and how, if you say, okay, I started 50 conversations on each platform, how the like on how, what was the funnel in each case, right? How many people responded? How many people did you get into a good conversation with? How many went on a call? It would be really interesting to see those stats.
yeah. You know, it's a completely different universe out here. Like, there's so many things, like the about, the features, the posts. It's like so confusing to me still.
Yeah,
But
takes a
I'm
while.
getting the hang of it. Yeah,
Mm.
slowly.
Cool. I think for you, honestly, you have experience on Instagram. It's not, I think, I don't know Instagram very well, but I think it's the same principle applies. It's still humans on each side, right? So you just do
Yeah,
good content, see what resonates. I think what is really going to be very critical for you as you are only building your network on LinkedIn is to comment a lot yourself, but not just randomly. I would look for opportunities to comment with really high quality advice.
yeah.
Right? Of course, look
On
for your
Instagram, we
audience.
call it engagement. On Instagram, we call it engagement, and we got the two kinds of engagement. We got the spam one that's just spamming emojis on everywhere, and we got the other one that's posting, that's commenting, let's say 10, 15 times per day, but all their comments get pinned. So basically, I don't know if it's on LinkedIn as well, but on Instagram, you have the pinning of comments. So each post, the creator can pin 3 comments, and they will show on top of everyone. So everyone can see 1, 2, 3 comments that are pinned, and then they see the rest of the comments.
Mm.
So your aim is to get pinned. So on big accounts, like we're talking 30, 40, 50,000 followers, and then you get reach. So I don't know how comments work on LinkedIn, if you could tell me.
Comments are a great way for you when you don't have a large following yet, which is your case, you have some 40 something people, is to gain visibility, right? You are an interesting case because you noticed me on a comment on Gary Vaynerchuk's
Exactly.
post.
Yeah.
And that was not even a first level comment. I was responding to someone, right? I was in a comment thread. And this just gets you very high visibility. So if I could like suggest to you something, it would be start out, spend 1 or 2 hours a day commenting on the following types of people. Number one, influencers in your niche, anyone who your audience, which are health coaches who want to stand out. So anybody who's like a fitness coach, nutrition coach, and so on. Look at who they follow, who are the big honchos in their space, the Gary Vaynerchuks of their space. Maybe actually Gary Vaynerchuk will be the right one. And just find between 2 and 5 of these, and just make sure that you place really quality comments. One of the reasons why we started talking was because I went in depth on one guy's challenge,
Yeah.
right? And I discussed this quite at length. And that's what makes the difference.
Changed his life, probably, yeah.
Sorry?
You probably changed his life with your comment. You explained all his life, basically.
Yeah, well, I don't think so, but thank you for the compliment. So the goal is that you comment on these types of people because that gets you a lot of visibility. But in order to have the most effect of that, you need to have an optimized profile, right? With the current profile, it will be a waste to do. So step number 1 is to optimize your profile based on your positioning.
Okay.
Then to start commenting heavily, like the more you can do, if you could do this for 10 hours a day, then do that. It's going to really, really help you a lot. And as you build the connections, which also, of course, I would do, you have only 20 a day that you can do on LinkedIn. So or like 100 a week, max 30 a day. So just maximize that and just connect with as many people as possible. And those 2 activities should be the bulk of your work. Content, yes, you should put it out, but I would not do too much. I would rather focus on commenting and on and on adding people. And then
So should I remove, let's pause 1 second. First question about connections. So should I aim for more quality connections or for more quantity connections?
But it does not
So
have to be either or.
let's say connecting with people that have 500 plus connections and a lot of followers, or should I connect with just anyone that comes in front of me?
No, definitely not with just anyone. You want people who are in your target audience, or let's say ancillary, right? Somebody, maybe some other people who are your competitors who help health coaches. You can learn from them, just add them as well. It's always good to be connected to competitors. But the bulk of my connections would be actual health coaches, because those are the people you want to serve.
And how about people in my niche? So, for example, like you, that are helping coaches or helping consultants or helping small businesses in this kind of coaching coaches, if you can say it. That kind
Well,
of niche.
I'm sort of, in a way, I'm a little bit of your competitor, right? Because
Okay.
I also help. Health coaches are not my specialty, but I have, specifically right now, one health and one more my mindset coach. But I do work with coaches as well. So yes, I'm one of your competitors, and it's good to be connected with me, because maybe there's some things that you could pick up from me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay.
Right. So that's what I would do.
Right.
And that's the bulk of the activity: commenting and connecting with people. And then you will see which of your comments really resonate, and those will then become content posts. And the content post should be half of them text and or image, doesn't really matter that much, and video. Video is really key, because people build an affinity for you when they see video. They become more comfortable with you. They feel like they know you. And over time, that's going to build up a lot of trust. So there should be a mix of video and text. But again, as
Okay.
I
How
said,
about carousels? Does this format work on LinkedIn or not? Like
about what?
multi-page posts,
Multi-page.
multi-page posts. Yeah. Does it work
I
on
don't.
LinkedIn or doesn't have that much
I don't think you can
reach?
even do multi-page. I mean, there's like articles. You can post articles on LinkedIn, which I would not do. I would only do, if you want to do an article, I would do just one flagship article that kind of says this is what we do, and more like, this is the mission. This is what most people do wrong, and this is what I have discovered. This is the methodology that works, and this is why you should follow me. Like, I call it the flagship article. I don't really have that. I don't think it's all that important, but this is the only type of article that I would recommend my clients to do. Other than that, just focus on normal text posts.
Okay. Can't
And
you post multiple images on LinkedIn? I think you can.
yes,
No?
yes, but that you would have to put them and format them as a presentation PDF.
Okay.
And then it's like a
Got it.
slideshow. You can click through it. And those get actually
Oh,
really
yeah,
good
that's it.
views. Yeah,
This is
you
what
can
I'm
have a
talking
slideshow.
about.
Yes, but it has to be
Okay, so does
formatted
it
as,
do well?
I think it has to be formatted as a PDF.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And how about outbound marketing on LinkedIn especially? How does it work? Does cold DMing work or not that much?
So for clarification, if I may, I would not call anything that has to do with outbound, I wouldn't call it marketing. Outbound is sales, right? So anytime you start a conversation with someone with the goal of getting them on a call, then that is sales. There's plain and simply prospecting / sales. If you start conversations just to be friendly, and to send them an interesting article and all that, and you genuinely mean it, you don't just, oh, I wrote this article, maybe you want to check out this kind of stuff. If it's genuine, then yes, that's fine. That is marketing. You just kind of, it's like you're building up social capital. But the classic case of starting conversations on LinkedIn is selling. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely recommend to do it if you have goals, and if just doing content will not help you reach these goals, right?
Okay.
It's just a necessary component. It's not something that you need to do, will need to do forever. But just to give an idea, the last client that I got in via content was like, via outbound myself, that I started completely cold, was like in May, and that's like 1.5 years after I got started, right? And that's because just with content alone, I wasn't reaching my goals. So I always recommend to just try to, as much as you can, do content, and that should help you get to your goals. But if you don't hit your goals with that, do content. Yes. Sorry, do outbound.
Okay, so how I understand that to reach a large audience on LinkedIn and to get clients, you have the content and then you have the outbound / inbound. All right?
Well, Outbound does not help you reach a large audience.
Okay.
Let's define terms. Number one is you grow your network, meaning you add people. Most people on LinkedIn will be your third or second degree connections. You want to make them your first degree connections, meaning you're directly connected to them. I don't call this outbound. It's simply growing your network, adding people.
Okay.
Step number one. And you can only do, you will at maximum, you will grow by 50 people a week. So it's going to take you a while. You're now at 50. The very best you can do in a year's time is 50 times 52. So you could, in a year's time, get to 2,500 connections, unless your content is going to be so good that people are going to be adding you like crazy, in which case it's unlimited, and or following you, which is of course also unlimited. But that's currently the limit. And then you do, as I said, commenting, and out of the comments will come content, and that's your main route to get reach: commenting and content. Outbound, as I define it, meaning outbound prospecting, starting conversations with the aim of figuring out if the other person has a problem that you might be able to help with. That is not a means to get reach, of course. It's just like you're calling someone. And that is a way to figure out if they are somebody who you could help, if they're willing to jump on a call.
Okay.
And as far as outbound, have you done any outbound on Instagram yourself?
Yeah, I did.
How did you do that? Did you just like message somebody and say, hey, this is what I do. Do you want to have a call?
No, it was more about starting a conversation, making them interested in what I'm doing. First, I'm prospecting them, seeing if they are my target audience. If they are, then, well, it really depends on each case. It's not like a special formula that I apply to everyone, but it's basically seeing what they need, seeing if I can provide what they need. If I can tell them to go on a call. If they say no, then they will keep consuming my content, and they will be more interested, and then maybe they will just say, hey, I'm interested in your call, and let's connect.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's great. Yeah, you're doing it exactly right. Are you tracking your numbers? Do you know how many people respond to you if you send a first message?
It's very low. It's very low.
How low? Less than 10%?
I could say 10 to 15%.
What? How much?
Around 10 to 15%.
Okay. So that's quite low. And there's ways,
yeah,
there's ways how you can improve that. Especially if you start out, well, what's your general like first message that you send? Do you have like a pattern, or how do you start these conversations?
It depends. If someone is following me, then I would say, hey, thanks for the follow. You know, if you need anything, my DMs are always open, and you can talk to me whenever you want. That's it.
Sorry, what? Okay, did you ask a question?
Sometimes I could ask, like, how's your week going? But most of the time it's just, hey, thank you for following me. And if you need any help, my DMs are always open.
No, that's not ideal. Then the relatively low response rate isn't surprising. Think back to like when you if you go to cocktail parties or just any kind of social event where people are generally open to talk to strangers. What's the best way to start a conversation with someone?
What's your name?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that doesn't really work on LinkedIn. Plus, also, sure. And then what do you say? If they say, "Hey, I'm Michael," then what do you do?
How are you doing? Pleasure to meet you, Michael. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great because you are enforcing the burden of coming up with a topic on them. If you do that, how are you doing? I would say good. And then what? Right? You don't really enter a conversation. The best way to enter into a conversation is by something contextual. If depending on where they are or what they do or what the context is in which you meet, you talk about something that is just now happening, right? So if the best way to start a conversation at a bar, whatever, is to simply remark on, oh my God, have you seen this person over there? They've been whatever, juggling 3 glasses or something like that, if it's true, right? So you remark on something that is happening. or especially on LinkedIn, this works really well, that you see what they have posted, if they have posted something, and you ask them about it. Hey, Anthony, I saw you recently posted about inbound marketing. It was a really interesting point. I'm just not sure I fully understood. What do you mean by blah, blah, blah? Boom, you have a conversation, a quality conversation. If they don't have anything, if they don't post, which some people don't, look at their about section. Maybe they mentioned something there. Hey, Anthony, I found your about section really compelling, really good structure. Did you have help with that, or did you just come up with that yourself? It's another opener, right?
Okay.
Or you even something like somebody's wearing sunglasses. You say, geez, Anthony, that's on their profile picture, of course. You say, Anthony, those are some pretty cool shades that you're rocking. What are these, branded, or did you get them from some kind of knockoff shop and then you mention where they live? Did you get them at some knockoff shop somewhere in front of the Lviv Cathedral? Right? Something like that, and
Okay,
boom,
you did your research, not bad.
Right. I mean, I know you live in Lviv, right? So that's like, you would just say that. And that tells me that you've actually taken a second to look at my profile, and you're not burdening me with the topics, right? You're not burdening me with coming up with a topic by asking, how are you?
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to get a 50% response rate.
At least 50.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say I'm reasonably good at this stuff, and my average over time across all is 50%, 52.
That's amazing.
So yeah. Yeah, and it works. And the key thing is that you actually look at the conversation and see it as a progression of steps. You first have to build rapport, right? If somebody to the, hey, cool shades that you rock, are these branded, or did you pick them up at a knockoff guy in front of the cathedral in Lviv? If you hit it off, if he says, haha, no way, man, I only wear branded. You like, what do you think? I'm a serious consultant. How could I wear knockoffs? Boom, you have rapport, right? And then once you've established that, then you can move into, hey, so I see that you're a health coach. I see that you help, overweight people. What do you think is the biggest obstacle for them to actually take action? Is it just, inertia, or is it their social environment? What is it? They say, yeah, I think it's inertia, blah, blah, and so on. Oh, interesting. Okay, good. So, and then you get to the topic of client acquisition. Because
so
once
how do you transition from that into talking about business?
Well, I just told you. You're a health coach. You help people with being overweight. What do you think is the main obstacle? Is it like bad habits, or just a bad environment that they're in? And they say, well, I think it's mainly bad environment, because if your social circle, blah, 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 and so on. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's so cool. Have you had any clients who were of the other kind? And then you slowly get to that point of talking about clients, right? It's really contextual. It's a practice. I would really recommend that you also look at I know it's politically incorrect to say, but any kind of like pickup artist literature, where they really tell, because dating and selling, the analogies are so similar. It's always the same.
Yeah, I know. I was in that community like 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's just so many similarities in this world, that it's really good to, or like one of those films where Will Smith plays a dating coach, I think, right? How to actually get into a conversation, how to be confident in this. And this is a lot of what I talk about. Is my program is called the Alpha Lead Academy. I want you to feel like you have alpha status when you're selling. Most people have this subservient status when they're selling, and this is so boring. When they ask you super long sentences, and people respond with and then they go all crazy, and they just, write all again long questions and so on. That's not, you don't have alpha status. You have alpha status if you say like, cool beans, why'd you say that? Right? If you actually are able to just, pull off a one sentence question, or like a couple of words only as a message, and somebody keeps talking to you, you have alpha status. And that's what you should go for, because nobody wants to buy from somebody who's subservient.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And so, and just to finish this off, so you start with rapport, you then go into exploration mode. The exploration mode is there to find out if they have a problem that you could help them with. And then once you establish that, then it's really key that you find the right angle to get them on the call. And there I found that the following sentence works really well. Did you say, hey, this sounds like something I might be able to help you with? Would you be interested? Let's just chat 15 minutes, right? But this, it sounds like something I might be able to help you with, is it could, on the face of it, seem that it's not alpha because it has so many could, might, and so on.
I was gonna say
the
that.
But the key message here is that you don't pretend to know. Because if you said definitely something I can help you with, well, you don't know that. It's too early, right?
Okay.
It's too early in the conversation. And I think that you could put off too many people if you were to be overconfident in this kind of scenario. And even an alpha doesn't have to say, oh, definitely something I can solve. You don't know that. Even as an alpha, you could say, listen, I don't know. It sounds like I could help you, but let's explore it. Let's jump on a phone. Right? And then
just remove this tension between you and the potential client through a rapport, and then seeing how you can help, and then taking them to the call.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. Those are the steps. So it's the opener, rapport, exploration, close.
Yeah. Well, what I was doing is not building rapport from the beginning. I was waiting for them to answer my first message and then trying to build rapport, not directly jumping into it.
Yeah. No, that's right. I mean, you did this right. I think maybe the mistake that you were making is that you get ask two bland questions like, hey, how are you? That's, nobody wants to answer that. And the second thing is that you may have just sent messages without asking a question. I see this very often with my clients when they start, that they just simply send a sentence, oh, that was such a great post that you did about blah, blah, blah. Silence, right? It's just, okay, they will say, well, thank you. And that's it, right? You have to always ask an interesting question, something that will keep the conversation going. Cool.
About the pickup artist community, I was thinking of even doing my marketing strategy just focusing on men's coaches. It's a very niche subject, and people that are coaching specifically men in all areas of life, mentally, spiritually, blah, blah, blah. So that was one way I was going to do it, but I found out that there's not a lot of demand and there's a lot of distrust on marketers, especially in that community. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that's too niche?
I mean, I never fully understood why people would niche themselves down. Like the same principles that help somebody in the man's coaches community can help a health coach. That's why I'm not niche down, because I can help both this consultant, the transformation consultant who recently signed up. I can help a lawyer. I can help a health coach. Right? You don't need to be niche down in this business. I think it's actually even better if I'm not niche down, because then some of the principles that help the health coach could really interestingly transfer to the transformation consultant. Right? It could,
then,
the cross-pollination.
The argument goes of niching down, how I'm seeing it, the argument goes like, if you have a specific problem, you want a specific solution from a specialist, not a generalist.
Yeah, but in what degree? I don't know. It's maybe, yeah, sure. Maybe it could be, and I think it's a legitimate way of seeing it. I just think that what is more powerful, if you have a methodology that can be applied to different people to solve the problem for them. But I think, look, whatever works for you. If you are passionate about this XYZ community and you want to help them, go for it. Probably they will find you credible because your clients are all the same. I just think I'm not sure that it would be a selling point for me. If somebody told me that, okay, I help marketing and sales consultants to improve their mindset, I would not be drawn to this. For example, let's say I'm looking for a mindset coach. I would not be drawn to this only because they're niche down in my niche. I would look at their methodology. Do I resonate with what they are telling, with their message? Like I resonate with Tony Robbins, and he's not niche down. I would, of course, I cannot afford Tony Robbins right now, but I would work with him if I could because of what he says and how he sees the world. I don't care if he is specialized in sales and marketing coaches. That is not a category that matters to me. But that's how
Yeah,
I see
that's
the
true.
world.
But like you're talking at an expert level when you're just starting out. One also argument is that you have to be specific and have a specific niche or a specific target audience so that you can build more credibility from testimonials from people that relate. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't niche down.
So what do you think?
Even when I started out, I wasn't niche down in this way.
Okay.
I said coaches, consultants, right? Now I expanded it to say small B2B and coaches and consultants, but I started with coaches and consultants. And mainly because those were the people that I knew, and I've had a bit of a track record in that, in just kind of the people that I worked with when it was still pretty immature. So I had a bit of background in this space, but nothing really huge. I just decided that this is what I'm going to go for. So yeah, I'm not so sure that the common mantra of how you have to niche down really applies.
That's really interesting angle because everywhere in the marketing community, everyone's pushing for niching even more down. So you're going just against the grain. So that's really interesting to see. And you said something that you should specialize in your methodology and not in your niche. So how did you come up
I'm
with
not
your
saying,
methodology?
look, I think, of course, there's so many ways to be successful. I'm not saying that if you niche down on a specific group that this will not work, right? Definitely
Yeah,
not.
no.
I just feel that from my point of view, as I mentioned with the Tony Robbins example, I'm just way more attracted to somebody whose ideology I resonate with, how they see the world, right? How they help you overcome limiting beliefs, that it doesn't matter to me who the other people in the group are. In fact, I think I would even rather, if I'm in a group with people, I would be more interested in having a very diverse group of people there, meaning a book coach and a health coach and somebody who's helping. Like right now, I love my current community of clients. I have an artist, I have a lawyer, I have a mindset coach, I have a transformation consultant in there, I have a software company, and they can support each other. It's all, in the end, human psychology, marketing, and sales is very similar. No matter where you are, you're still selling to people. I find the cross-pollination potential far stronger than just marinating in this whole space if I just were to sell to marketing coaches or just to health coaches. And maybe it's even like a personal preference choice, right? I think if you are so interested in that man training coach or health coaches, by all means, go for it. I just was never particularly interested in one group. Also, mind you, because imagine then I would have to reject people. What if now somebody comes to you who is like a leadership coach, and they say, "Would you like to work with me?" Right? Would you say no?
Probably.
You would say no. You would actually reject them.
But I'm thinking more in terms of what I had experience in, because I don't know the first thing about leadership coaches. So how can I help him if I don't even know what he's doing?
You learn what he's doing. In the end, he's selling some kind of transformation to someone
That's
else.
true. Yeah.
He's helping CEOs to become better at CEOing. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that space. You know the principles of marketing, of attracting. Sorry, is this beeping in my space or yours?
I don't know. Let me check. No, it's in my speech. Just a second. Right. Yeah, a car alarm went off.
Okay.
Anyway, basically.
So yeah,
So,
you don't need to know terrible a lot about like
mhm,
these different. That's their world. They know their world. You help them with the same principles of marketing and sales,
okay.
right?
But can you apply these methods correctly and in a good way if you don't really know what the whole sphere is about?
Yeah.
So let's say you're in a fintech company approaches you and they want you to do their marketing or their sales or consult with their team and train them. But
Hmm.
you don't know the first thing about fintech. How can you do that?
Hmm. Of course, it's going to make it a bit more difficult. But the thing is, if you had a methodology that is really rock solid, then you would probably not actively pursue fintech. You would still pursue the people that you know, right? But like right now, I can give you a great example. For example, I now only work with solopreneurs and small B2B companies. Like I think the biggest I ever had was 20 people. However, if a company with 200 people came to me and asked me to help them to apply my methodology, I would absolutely say yes, because it will work for them. I just know it. So, because my methodology is pretty rock solid, I just know because every single person who's taken action on what I told them to do has had great results, right? And that means the methodology is rock solid. And if now somebody comes and I genuinely believe that I could help them, of course, I would not take anybody. If I sometimes, when was the last time I spoke to somebody who, yeah, like there was recently a guy who I spoke to where I felt that he's already so advanced, he doesn't really need me. I gave him a bit of like advice on the call, and that was it. He doesn't need me. He's well versed enough that he can figure this out. I would not, with a good conscience, charge him my pretty substantial fee in order to work with me. There's no point. So if a 200 person company would come to me and say, hey, can you apply your principles to us, then no problem. Unfortunately, Anthony, I have a hard stop. I have to leave.
It's okay, man.
But
It was a pleasure talking to
I
you.
hope this was useful.
It was really enlightening, and I'm gonna work on your advice tonight, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you.